This is the first time I'm filming and I can actually see. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. This is Michelle Reads YA. Today I'm giving you my August 2021 wrap up. I don't know how many books I read in August. Well, let me count. I read 19 books in August. That's really good. I think in July I read 20, so I am doing great. Okay, so the first book that I read for August was one that I gave 5 stars to, and if you know anything about me, you know that I don't give a lot of books 5 stars anymore. Like, I used to give all the books 5 stars, and now I'm like, no. However, this one is 5 stars, and that is Ace of Spades by Frida, Abke, Miyati. Oh, I'm so sorry. I will be better next time. I got coffee on this. I tried to film this video an hour before and I spilled coffee everywhere and I gave up. So now I'm back without coffee, but I have coffee on the book. However, Ace of Spades is black Gossip Girl and like does it better. It was just really good. So this is the story of 2 black teens that go to like an basically all white elite high school, and people start getting texts about these 2 individuals, and basically the white people in school are out to get them. It's like Gossip Girl and Get Out, and it was so well done. And I listened to the audiobook and it was told in 2 perspectives, and there were 2 narrators, which is my favorite. So it was just great. I gave this 5 stars because I just like the overall message of this book really left an impact with me. So I just could not stop thinking about this book after I finished it. I think like normally when I finish an audiobook, I go straight into the next one and just like on to the next one. With this one, I took a whole day off just so I could think about this book and like what it meant. So I absolutely highly suggest this one. Also, I thought this was fantasy and I was starting to read it for my fantasy project, which I will put up above. Is that right? I don't think so, but I'll put it up above. And it is not fantasy. It is like a YA contemporary mystery, and you do have to suspend some disbelief with this book, but I thought that was okay. So 5 stars for Ace of Spades. The next book, oh, do I have this one? I don't have it. No. The next book that I read and did not like was The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I'm on a Riley Sager adventure, I guess. Reading all his books, and once again, did not like this book. I didn't like this one from the beginning. Mostly, it just like the summer camp vibe, not for me, and I did not like the main character whose name is gone. I don't know. She obviously wasn't that important. And I will say again that Riley Sager is the John Green, I almost said John Mayer, is the John Green of adult horror, because all he writes is females. It's super weird. Anywho, did not like this one. Gave it 2 stars. I thought once again the ending was stupid. So that's that on that. Okay, the next book that I read was Crave by Tracy Wolff. I definitely have a video about how I DNF'd this like a year ago. If I could find that video, I'll put it up above, but no promises. So I am new on TikTok, and Crave is pretty popular on TikTok, and I was like, why? So I decided to listen to it because I have already unhauled it. It's gone, but I did own it once upon a time. So she gone, but I listened to it and gave it 3 stars. The writing still completely awful. The book itself, not that bad. Like, I get it. So this is like if you know, in Breaking Dawn, where Bella and Edward are supposed to go to college in Alaska, or that's like their plan, and then she's actually gonna be a vampire. This is like if Bella actually did go to Alaska. So, didn't hate it. Still says AF and sexy AF and whatever AF way too many times. Way too many. But I think because I couldn't like physically see the AF in my face, it didn't like bother me as much, and I finished it, and it's a very long book. And I gave it 3 stars, and I'm on hold for the next 2. So, I mean, we're gonna do it. I'm back for vampires. I'm back. Okay. The next book that I read was an arc, and that's As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I hated it. Hated it. I don't know when this comes out. Soon? It's out in the UK. It comes out here soon. I can't even tell you how bad this was. Pip does something in this book that is completely out of character for her, and she just loses like her entire character arc from the first two books, and it was not good because of that. Holly Jackson does do a good job at tying up some ends from the first book that I thought was actually really important. Something that I didn't like from the first book was addressed in this book, and I like that. However, then shit just gets crazy. It was not good. So I gave it 2 stars because I finished it. Go me. I gave it 2 stars because it just was not good. She could have gone literally any other way with this. I was reading reviews on this on NetGalley, and people were like, what the fuck? And I agree, what the fuck. So when that comes out, I am excited to see how other people think about that one. So yeah. The next book that I read was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and you're probably thinking, Michelle, why did you read a romance? And I will say, I don't know, I didn't buy it and I got it on audiobook, so that's why. I read People We Meet on Vacation in the middle of the fantasy project, so it was just like a what is that called? A palate cleanser. Jesus Christ. I need more coffee. Anyway. Okay. I gave it 3 stars, and I believe my review is something like this. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this. And that's it. It wasn't, oh my god, I'm blown away. It wasn't, oh my god, this is so dumb. It was perfectly fine. 3 stars. And then the rest of my books on my Goodreads are the Fantasy Project. So I'll put the Fantasy Project above and also the Romance Project above. The next book I'm going to talk about for 4.2 seconds, and that's Verity by Colleen Hoover. Stupid Kindle Unlimited put this down as read, and I'm doing it for a secret project. So I read Verity, but I'm not going to talk about it with you. Goodbye. It's later. Okay. The next book that I read was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Once again, this is huge on TikTok. I've had it on my shelf since it came out in 2017. I got it that week it came out, but I just have been letting it sit there. So I was finally like, bitch, you gotta read it. So I did. And it was fine. I gave 3 stars. People are like super emotionally attached to this book, and I felt nothing. I know I don't have a lot of emotions, and that's a me problem. I just felt nothing with this book, and I know a lot of people felt like a lot of things and loved Mateo and Rufus, and I did not. But however, and this is not a spoiler, when they both died at the end, I was just like, what? Even though that's literally the title of the book. But I will say, it's not a spoiler. You know they're gonna die, but when they died, I was still like, how could you, Adam? Anyway, 3 stars. The next book that I read was The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. I have had this on my radar for a very long time because I loved Slay. We are reading this next year for my book club. And I just already had it on hold, so I read it. I liked so many things about this book, and disliked one thing that like really took me out of the story. So this is a story of 2 brothers, and the one brother can, when he touches something, can like see the future of the thing, and the other brother, you find out, can like go back and like see things and like, what if I could changed it thing. So the one brother sees his younger brother, a vision of him dying, and like tries to stop it, and they're not very close, but like he obviously still wants to stop the death of his brother. I liked it. but there was some other magical realism elements that completely took me out of the story. Like, I don't want to ruin it because it's such a new book, but like he sees ancestors and I just did not like it. I ended up giving this 3 stars because some of the magical realism really worked for me and the writing was great, and it had to do with like racial discrimination but told in a magical realism way. It just didn't blow me away like Slay did. Like Slay, so good. This one, almost there, but I recommend it. The next book that I read is Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. I have had this on my shelves forever. We for book club are doing an anything goes month where we only read YA, but we're doing a, hey, if you want to suggest something else, do it. So I suggested this one. I don't know why. I think because it's been on my shelves forever and it has very good reviews. I decided to give it 3 stars because it has, I know this. It has so much to do with hockey, but like, that's it. And you finally get to like the meat of this book, but for me it was like too late. It was like 55% into the audiobook we're like actually talking about what this book is supposed to be about and not hockey. And by then it was, I think, too late for me. I wrote that in my review and a reviewer told me to shush. So they did not like the fact that I thought it was too much about hockey, but it was too much about hockey and not enough about what the real message is of this book. So I wish it was more like that. I will not be reading the sequel. And I think I gave this 3 stars. So I'm probably unhauling it. So I'm glad I read it, but it missed the mark for me a little bit. The next book that I read was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. And I'm going to be honest with you. I rated this 3 stars, but I only made it to 83% into the ebook and I returned it because I could not do it anymore. I think once again my review was, this was fine, which it totally is. It was totally fine. My friend Tatiana made a comment and I'm gonna read it because I want to get it right. So let me see what she said. I said, definitely spicy, but maybe a little shallow. And then my friend Tatiana, God, why can't I see this? Tatiana said, her books need to be shorter and drop the pretense of having a complex plot. Exactly. Listen, Penelope Douglas, I just want to read about the sex. I don't care about anything else that's happening in this book. I just want it to be spicy. And she makes all these books have like very big meanings and everything. Like I read Birthday Girl and they didn't fuck until like 65% into the book and I was like, why? I don't care. I don't care. And it was the same thing with this one. And I have like Tris 6 Venom, is that what it's called? On my TBR, and I'm like, am I even gonna do it? I don't know, because Penelope Douglas, just let me tell you, I don't care about the plot. I don't care about the plot. Okay. Next, I read Prodigy, which is the sequel to Legend, and this was good. I actually liked this better the second time. So I'm glad that I'm rereading these to get to Champion, because I thought that this was just okay the first time I read it, but I actually think this was much better this time rereading it. I remembered most of what happened, and rereading it I was like, oh yeah, and then I definitely remember the ending. The ending is just like, so I really liked the ending, which is why I want to get to Champion, because like, how's it gonna end? So I don't remember what I gave it. I know the first time I gave it 3 stars, but I'm feeling like with this reread it's 3.5. Oh, I gave it 4. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like, it held my attention the whole time. The ending I remembered from the first time, but like rereading it, I was still like, damn, that's good. I really like Marie Lou. Anyway, okay. 4 stars. Okay. The next book that I read, I really liked. This has been on my shelf forever. I was gonna do a it's time to read Casey West video, but I'm just gonna read Casey West. And that's P.S. I Like You by Casey West. I love this. I gave 4 stars. My contemporary YA, contemporary romance heart is so happy. I love this. This is a story about a girl and a guy who don't like each other. Enemies to lovers. You bet it. Anyway, they start writing notes to each other in biology, chemistry, a science class. And they don't know that it's each other. And then they find out that it's each other, and it's just good. Like, if you're a sap like me, like you need a nice YA contemporary, I would say go with this one. I think I like Casey West. The other 2 Casey West's that I read, I did not really enjoy. I loved this one. Excellent. Highly recommend, 4 stars. Oh, the next book that I read was a buddy read. So Anna and Tatiana. Sorry this took so long for me to read. I think you've already read the whole series and I have not yet, but that is The Boyfriend List by E. Lockhart. I have read a few books by E. Lockhart. The big one being We Are Liars, and I read that when that came out, so like I liked it and I stand by it. Anyway, so I read this one, really liked it. I gave this 4 stars. This was, okay, so this came out in 2005, I believe, 2005. So it's a little dated. I will say at one point, I believe a white male character is wearing blackface. And I was like, ooh, E. Lockhart. But like 2005, I was 15. And let me tell you, it was a whole different world. So like, maybe they could have reprinted it. Like, this is a reprint, so they could have definitely done that, but like other things held up really well. This is about this girl. She goes into therapy to work on herself, and her therapist has her make a list of like all the boyfriends she's had or like interactions with guys. And let me tell you, her ex-boyfriend and her ex-best friend suck. So I have the whole series on my Kindle through the library. I didn't even buy them, so I would probably buy them, but this is good. I really like this, 4 stars. I will say it's outdated, but that's okay. Ooh. The next book that I read and loved was Perfectly Parveen by Olivia Atahi. I, in my haul, said Parveen. That's wrong. I listened to the audiobook and it's Parveen, so my bad. So now we know. I love this. This is a younger YA. The main character, Parveen, is 14 and a freshman in high school. So this was definitely on the younger side of YA, which I had no problem with. Like, I'm 31 and I am still working on myself daily. Like, it's a daily thing, daily learning experience to be like a good person and a good friend and just like bettering yourself. And that's what this whole story was about. It was Parveen trying to better herself and be a better person, and it revolved around guys, and then it revolved around her friends, and then it revolved around herself. And I just thought it was a really good message, and I love the audiobook and I love Parveen and I loved it. So I gave this 4 stars and I absolutely recommend it. The next book that I read was Your Life Has Been Delayed by Michelle I. Mason. This is an arc. It literally comes out today is, so this video comes out on Saturday. It comes out in 3 days, whatever date that is. Bad at everything. But this was good. I am currently watching Manifest, and this is like if Manifest went the contemporary route and like didn't go sci-fi, which I actually liked. I liked Manifest a lot. I like the sci-fi aspect, which I didn't think I would, but I liked this too. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars because it was a little cheesy. Also, it was a little religious-y, which is not me, not religious. So every time she brought up like religion, I was like, oh no. But overall, I really like this, and this is a debut, and I thought it was good, and I gave it 3.5 stars. So I will definitely be reading whatever this author comes out with next. Absolutely liked it. Excellent. I already put it in my unhaul pile. So the next book that I read and DNF'd is The Color Project by Sierra Abrams. I don't have much to say about this except for it's been on my shelves since I think 2017, and I finally picked it up because I'm trying to read the 385 unread books on my shelves, and was very disappointed in this. I love a good long contemporary. However, something needs to fucking happen to have me be invested in the story, and absolutely nothing was happening in this book. Also, I was reading reviews when I decided to DNF it, and apparently the author is biphobic, is or was biphobic, and that's not going to cut it in my life. So I DNF'd it, and I feel great about it. And have you noticed that's the first book that I DNF'd this month? Congratulations, Michelle. And then the second book that I DNF'd this month was The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. I thought I was going to like this so much. Queer, black boy, ghosts, horror. Did not like it. It was dark. It was a little too dark for me. Trigger warnings for like a graphic suicide and a school shooting, and like it didn't work for me, and listening to it was like disturbing. Did not like it. So I DNF'd this 30% in. I don't know if it was the story itself, which I think was too dark, or it was the writing. I honestly can't tell, but it didn't work for me. And then the last book that I read in August was Sunkist by Casey West. I listened to this on audiobook. It was amazing. I gave it 4 stars. This is 2 Casey West books in a row that had to do with like songwriting and singing, so that must be like her thing, which is fine with me. I liked it a lot. This also gave me Dirty Dancing vibes, which I loved, so highly recommend. I think this is her newest one, so I'm going to go. I have a couple of her books on my shelves, and I have a couple of her books on hold from the library, and I'm just gonna dig into Casey West because apparently I do like Casey West. So that's it. This has been the longest wrap up of my life. Feeling feisty today. I don't know. Whatever. Thanks for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye. I'm back. I finished filming and there was a book still left on my table, and I was like, fuck. So I read Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sayans. I gave this 4 stars. I believe that there's controversy with this author, so like I don't want to talk about that a lot, but I gave it 4 stars and I thought it was good, and I wasn't liking it at first. I wasn't enjoying like digging the writing style at all, and then I finished it and I was like, oh, that was deep. But I don't want to say a lot about it because I think the author is stupid. So that's it. That's 19 books. Cool. Bye.